There they are. What's up,
How
guys?
you guys doing?
Come on. Let's get a little smile, man. Let's get a little wakey.
There you go. Matt,
Matt,
Memphis, Donald, good to see you, man.
Memphis, look at you.
Amigo,
Getting
Nico.
ready to take over the day with that handsome smile.
Hey, who's Cool Dog? We don't know. We'll figure that out later. Hey, good morning, everyone. We are going to kick this thing off. Got a couple more people joining us here in a second. But hey, we appreciate all y'all this morning. Going to have a lot of fun. Real quick, I wanted to start off by just saying something. This is something I was going to actually go Facebook Live on, but I figured, now I'm going to share it for this group. This is a badass group, and y'all need to hear it. So growing up, my grandmother always said one thing. So I had 3 brothers, so 4 of us boys, we're always fighting, you know, making fun of each other. When we were young, one of my younger brothers was always crying, you know how that goes. But my grandma always said one thing. She said, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. And I lived by that for so damn long, Chris. I live by that statement, like, words don't hurt. They can never actually hurt you. But recently, over the past few years of my life, I found out words really can fucking hurt. And let me tell you why.
Why is that?
Because when someone says something to you and you get a little butthurt and it starts digging in your soul, it hurts. And it hurts when it's fucking true. Let me tell you, if someone says something that's not true, it doesn't matter what they say. That shit ain't gonna hurt you. You know, if I look at Matt and go, Matt, you're just an ugly motherfucker. Matt knows that ain't true because Matt knows he's pretty. Matt knows he's a good looking guy. And see, he's laughing. But maybe, I'm talking to someone else and I'm like, dude, you got to quit. You got to grab your pear and you got to do what you say you're going to do. And you're like, Jonathan, what the hell? I'm like, no, dude, quit being a bitch and get out there and do the work you say. And you get a little upset, you get a little offended. Do you know why those words actually hurt just a tad bit? Because they were true and they resonated with you. And you knew what was coming out of that guy's mouth or gal's mouth was true and you just didn't want to admit it.
Have you guys ever had those moments? I'm just going to tie in real quick. You ever had those moments where you're in a room and someone's talking and you're literally kind of like listening over your shoulder and you're like, oh God, I hope they're not talking about me. Do you want to know why you have that feeling? Because it's something that relates to you. They're not directly talking to you, but here's what happens in your subconscious. You've always had that feeling in a room, oh my God, what if they're talking about me? Well, there's a part of it that resonates, that literally hits home. That's why it bothers you. At the end of the day, we talk about the auditing of time, the auditing of yourself, everything like that. The reason we come on these calls, you guys have to be laser focused, okay? This industry that we're in right now, the car sales industry as automotive business professionals, we talk about core values. We talk about who we are, who we're becoming. Guys, stop giving a shit about everybody around you, okay? If it does hit home and it's something somebody said that literally resonates deep within you and it hurts, take a mental audit for a second and figure out, well, shit, maybe if that is about me, how do I move forward? How do I change the trajectory of that? If someone's like, hey, you're being a bitch. Originally, when I came into this business, I was the top dog at Clearwater Toyota, man, okay? I made over $500,000 in 1 year with Andy's training. When I came here, I got my fucking teeth kicked in for the first 2 months. You would have thought I was some fucking baby deer coming out of the womb, legs flailing everywhere, getting hung up on every day. People didn't know who the fuck I was. And Andy comes over, he goes, dude, you suck. I'm like, dude, fuck you, man. I don't suck. I'm amazing. He goes, wow, really? He goes, triggered, huh? I'm like, yeah, because I don't suck. He goes, good. Go back to the training, listen to me, become machine-like, figure out where your holes and leaks are, and stop being a bitch. Get on the phone, get your teeth kicked in, have some repetition, gain some fucking skill, or go up on the shelf. I'll put a little blankie on you. I'll feed you 3 meals. Everything will be good. And I'll walk up and give you little pats on the back and be like, it's okay, pumpkin. I'm sorry, that's your back. No, it's okay, pumpkin. Guys, be resilient. Be fucking crazy, man. Take those shots and be like, no, I'm not gonna flip you guys off on camera, but be like, dude, I'm gonna show you.
Hey,
okay, he'll do that.
Real quick, who actually got done their core values from last week? Who actually wrote some out? We ready to go? Let's drop them in the comments here real quick. I want to see how many we got. Give y'all some time with it. And realistically, I mean, who didn't do it? Who was here on last week's call that didn't get it done?
Who's actually got a real pair that will raise their hand and say, I forgot.
No, you didn't forget. You're good. You're good.
Hey,
Nate.
real quick, guys. I appreciate you guys having this meeting because I've been totally backsliding. So I really am working on rebuilding, starting back over with you guys. So I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, man. All right.
Guys, that takes a lot, okay? Nico doesn't have to come on there, okay? He can literally be a passenger in his life, and that's about a lot of things we're gonna talk about when you actually take accountability for your life. That's the most important part, man. You have a starting point. You draw your fucking line in the sand and you say, fuck this, dude, no more.
All right. I just got Grace is here. Grace, solid freaking job to begin with. Grace, come unmute your audio real quick, because one thing, I'm just looking at your first one. I read through the first three real quick. I'm getting through the others, but I really like what you have here as your number one, better together. Our team is only as strong as the weakest link. This means we grow together, work together, learn together, and hold each other accountable. Interact, is that interaction? Yeah, interaction is not optional. That's super solid. Where are you at, Grace? Can you come on live?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, so we're gonna do it just to keep this organized, because everyone told us not to go interactive, but I want to keep people interactive.
Sean was very specific. He's like, dude, if you guys go interactive, you are fucking crazy.
So we got like a 3-minute rule. So if you get, two, working into it and you just keep going, I'm going to nicely mute you and then give you like a quick 20-second, hey, wrap it up. But it's also going to work on just, practice, like when you're at a meeting, when you're with customers, things like that. No one likes to hear you talk that dang long. I'm sorry, I'm just going to tell you that. But if you start going over to Jupiter, you get all whack. So if I do mute you, it's no offense. It's just, we got to, keep a time limit going and go. So Grace, yeah, talk about your first one real quick. And then I also like the ethical one in there.
So better together for me, I mean, if it really ties into the others, if you're growing, we want you here. We want to help you. I don't care where you're at. I want to help you. As long as you're willing to learn, willing to try, willing to put in the work, we're working together, So that's really what better together is about. If you're not going to interact, if you're not going to show up, I don't want you on my team.
I love that.
A reason for it,
Gotcha. And what do you do, Grace?
I'm with Real Financial. So
Real Financial. Okay, so insurance sales there. And what I love about that is Real Financial. I mean, they're for the most part 1099 employees. Yes, they have team leaders and stuff, but it's just like 99% of sales. They're they're getting paid for their own production and maybe their team's production if they're a team leader. But what it really comes down to is a team is as strong as its weakest link. If you've got someone on the team who's not making the cut, who just needs a little more help, they are dragging the entire team down for two reasons. One, you've got to take time out of your day to train them, which isn't a bad thing, but you've also got to take time to level them up, and people look up to each other. I mean, sales is competitive. If you're not a competitive person and you're in this market or in this industry, any sales industry, get the hell out. Serving people at the highest level is great, but hell, let's say the money doesn't matter. The money, we'll take money out of the equation. But here's the cool thing. The more money you make, the more people's lives you're actually affecting. Mm-hmm. So if you're not worried about the money, worry about how many lives you change, how many lives you're able to affect. Because whatever product you sell, you have to believe in it to some extent. I mean, unless you're doing, I don't know, timeshares, then you're just, anyone here on timeshares before I say this?
That'll hit a nerve.
All right, we'll skip that one. But for the most part, we had someone, I'm not going to mention the company, I'm not even going to mention the industry, but they were on a Zoom with some of our employees, and she was adamant that she wasn't doing it for the money. I mean, the lady I'm talking about had made millions of dollars doing what she was doing, but she goes, I wasn't doing it for the money. And then they won't connect this. So she's on a call with Brad Lee, and Brad Lee just looks at her and goes, okay, you keep telling me it's not about the money, but your product is this high, and I'm telling you, we dropped the price, down a little bit, and we'll be able to affect 2 million people versus 2,000 people because it'll be more affordable. You'll make more money. She's like, it's not about the money. He goes, okay, you're going to make more money, but you're going to affect 100,000 times the amount of people. So the money's secondary, but the more people you can affect with your product, you're right there. So the better your team, the stronger your team from the ground up, the more lives will be changed. So I love that one.
You guys realize this entire thing about sales? So I'm not young by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, I'm 43 years old. I've been through the fucking ringer. I've had successful businesses. I own 2 restaurants. Do you guys understand the key point in sales? Okay, everybody thinks it's the product, it's the sale, it's the kill. Guys, it's not. I'm going to give you the best piece of fucking millionaire advice in the fucking world. Guys, it's human capital. You hear Andy talk about it all the time. You guys aren't selling cars to yourself. You're not selling insurance policies to yourself. You need people. You need relationships. You need interactions. How many of you on here, like when you're walking out in public, and I'm kind of railroading a little bit to the side, but how many hands do you shake? How many people do you introduce yourself to? How much are you getting out of your comfort zone? Okay. Give a fuck about people and the money will come.
So moving on to Josh. Josh, I got your 4 here, solid. The first one I want to speak about is the top one you put: integrity, honesty, and trustworthiness in all things, especially when it's hard. So I did a post in the Sales Pro or Sales for Sales Pro, whatever that group's name is, Ryan Stewman's group. There's 110,000 people in there. Y'all occasionally see I like to go in there and just put an AV question to stir some stuff up. It's a lot of fun. And I did a question the other day. I said something to the extent of, hey, when you look at a leader, when you look at someone that you're following, someone as a mentor, something to do with leadership, what are the top qualities that come to your mind? And integrity was the #1 thing.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone said, hey, they want someone that they can trust. They want someone that'll have their back. They want someone who, when that person says they're going to do something, they hold themselves accountable, they hold their team accountable, and things actually happen. I would say 80% of people put that as the top, top leadership quality that they look for in a leader. So the integrity is awesome. And then, hey,
That's fucking huge.
I got to pull you on, Josh. We're talking about Kung Fu for #2, so we're going to get you in there. Arte Kung Fu. I might have said the first word wrong, but I seek perfection in all things at all times and grow to meet all challenges within and without.
Yep.
Talk about that one for a minute.
So you actually, you said it right. Hopefully you can hear me. This is a new laptop. It's Arte. Yep. And it's funny. I made a post about this on my personal Facebook the other day, how that was a Greek concept where the true warriors back then had to be philosophers. They had to be thinkers. They had to be leaders. You couldn't be a brute and be in charge of the Greeks. 500 years and 1,000 miles away, Kung Fu has the same idea: perfection of all forms, physical, mental. You can't lead if you don't understand what you're doing. And so for me, it's really about, you have to perfect all aspects of your life, or how in the world can you lead anybody else if you can't even lead yourself? You can't control yourself. You aren't the best you can possibly be. Nobody's going to follow you. So that has to be like on there as a core value for me.
Perfect. And just so everyone knows, Josh, what do you do?
I am an automotive business professional.
Automotive business professional. I love it. No, he has that in there and he goes right with it. The guy who works his ass off, like, you can outwork anyone and you'll get a lot of stuff done if you put in effort. But if you're able to take the time that you work and capitalize on that time, get as much done in that time period you can, you'll be a lot more deadly. Another thing that I really like, Josh, and it sounds like you have some sort of martial arts background, or you study it to a certain degree. I did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for a while, and one thing that he put in there is he talks about perfection, but I'm assuming with that word, he also understands that we'll never be perfect. There's people who do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or BJJ for years and years, and get black belt, go way beyond, and become absolutely insane with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. But one thing they never do is they never quit practicing. They never quit training. They never quit rolling with people and learning new skills. And what's amazing about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and many other martial arts is it's the exact same thing we do in business. And Andy calls it becoming machine-like. It's the same thing the military does. It's the same thing we do in business when we're doing word tracks, when we're learning to talk with customers. Is you want to be able to just continue, like, what's going on, like you're a machine and you're just having a conversation with someone, but what to say before, what you're going to say before they've even finished saying what they're going to say, because you've done it so many times. You're there. There's no
awkward pauses.
No awkward pauses, but it's the same thing in martial arts. Is you're always working to get that perfection. In Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, a lot of what you're doing, you're not even actually seeing and focusing on visually what you're doing. It's a lot of feel. You feel a guy go for your wrist, where to secure that wrist, wrap up, put them in an arm bar, go for the omoplata if you're trying to look sexy. You know where it's going. And it's just, you've done it so many times. You feel the person's motion, you feel the weight change, and you know exactly what you're doing. So I love that the word, perfection was in there, but I know, just because we know Josh, realizes he's never going to become perfect, because the minute you become perfect, you lose.
My Sifu said it best. He said, I will die imperfect. I will
love
go
it.
to the grave a very old man, imperfect, but I will never stop trying to be perfect.
I love it. Thanks, Josh. We appreciate that. Chris, did you grab another one over there?
Matt, you wanna talk about your core values real quick there? Big Matt Crane, big sexy.
Yeah, man, absolutely. First of all, thanks, guys. So one of my favorite ones, obviously, we take nothing and earn everything, meaning we don't expect a handout. We're willing to go and get it done. We know people pay for what you do for them, not for what you say you'll do for them. The second thing is we follow up and follow through every day. It's a commitment to get on these calls at 9 a.m., right? So you follow up by doing what you say you're going to do, and you follow through by showing up. Third thing is we believe in gratitude over gratuity. Gratitude is the quality of being thankful, readiness to show appreciation for. Gratuity, sorry guys. Gratuity is when somebody overcompensates you for something you did for them. So if you're grateful first and you really show that gratitude first, you're going to get paid right afterwards. We're responsible for the reflection in the mirror. I believe as a manager, I have a responsibility to improve your quality of life outside the dealership better than what you're going to be. So I never worry about the guy that's walking in the dealership. That's that reflection part. The fifth thing, we give ourselves permission to be great, to be people who are average. It's the way we were raised. It's the way we were brought up. Average checking accounts, average life, average cars, average gas mileage. Quit doing that. And then last but not least, we out-train and outlast everyone. If you're truly committed to training like Andy and you guys ask us to do, you will outlast your competition.
Dude, guys, if you resonated with that, put a 1 in the chat. Like, that was some powerful shit. Matt, thank you so much. Like, seriously, to the core, dude. Like, I literally have chills right now, man. That's what this group is about, guys. He hit it the nail on the head, man. The average, okay? You guys are in the dealership. You have no idea. Like, I talked to probably 1,200 to 1,300 of you guys in a week. You guys have backslides. You're not perfect. Josh said it. I will be imperfect, but I will work on myself. I am a constant mold. I'm constantly shape shifting. Okay. I'm not perfect. There's no such thing as perfect. Okay. The reason that people are on you guys at the dealership, the reason that people don't resonate with you is because you guys are truly becoming the best version of yourself. You're working towards the 1% of the 1%. Okay. I listened to a podcast last night from Patrick Bet David. Do you guys know how demanding it is to follow up with what you say you're going to do? Andy literally talked to me 2 months ago. He goes, dude, I love you to death. You'll be family for life. But right now, your words have shit value. I was like, excuse me? Andy and I have had a lot of talks, man. Like, but it's molding me into who I'm supposed to become. It's not sexy winning. It never will be. The guys that are on the call right now, super early in different time zones, like we're what is it? We're Pacific Standard Time, okay?
Right now, yeah.
I'm up at 5 every single day, okay? I don't boast, I don't tell it, you know, it's not to prove anybody or to show off or showboat. It's my core values, it's my rituals, it's what gets me going. I have to go to the gym in the morning. I have to do my gratitude. I have to do my rituals. I have to make special time for my relationship. But average seeks out average. And listen, as you guys are scaling, and we're going to be on these calls every single week, pushing you guys, Nico, what you said. And I want you guys to really understand and go back to what he said. He's like, guys, I'm backsliding. Okay. When we were growing up as kids, okay, I'm a little bit older. I'm 43 years old. There's probably some guys that resonate with this. Asking for help used to be a sign of weakness. Like when I was a kid, my dad used to be like, dude, stop being a bitch. Go back and do what you're supposed to do. Stop fucking crying, stop whining. You don't need help. You just need to do it. There's a little bit of truth and fact in that. But at the same time, don't be afraid to fail. Go after things that scare the shit out of you. Okay. We talk about service drive on these calls. We talk about attacking the phones. We talk about getting new opportunities, going above and beyond. Are you guys pushing your limits every single day? Are you getting uncomfortable? Because the last time I checked, nothing good in my life, nothing came out of comfort. I didn't just accidentally close a $10,000 deal. I didn't accidentally close down a 10 rooftop dealership. He didn't just casually walk into a deal. It takes time. It takes repetition. It takes enormous amounts of skill. Winning isn't ugly. It's not sexy. You think we look great at 4 a.m. when we wake up for the gym all friggin' goop in our eyes and shit?
I look good.
Well, you always look good. This little hair thing that's going on, I love it. But are you guys understanding that average seeks average? And here's the kicker. As you guys are moving up and forward and you're scaling, it's going to get fucking harder. You're going to have test days. We'll talk about that in a minute, but you guys better be ready because shit's going to fucking hit and it's going to hit hard. Okay.
So let's real quick transition into, taking the core values and actually doing something with them. The reason we wanted this, I guess, homework assignment or whatever the hell you want to call it, is this should be something you use in, in your life. Actually implement the core values. Let me clear a few notifications from my phone and I want to show you something. But if you see here, I posted on the group, I posted the Elliott core values after we talked about them last week. But let's see if we can do that. I mean, right there on the background of my phone, that's where they sit. This thing is where we make our money here. Y'all know we do a lot of Zoom calls, we make a lot of phone calls. Andy travels a little bit, but realistically with technology today, we can scale to a larger degree right here with this damn thing. Hell, Chris and I are on a computer right now with a little fancy microphone and a fancy webcam, but you've seen Sean do his Zoom calls from Mexico. He does them right here. You've seen him do them right after a master closer seminar, right here. So I always put the core values there just because I pick this thing up too much throughout the day, and I can see them. But implement your core values not only in your life, but your business. For you sales professionals here, or you business professionals that are on that singular level right now, your core values, know what they are. Post them on your desk. Post them right in front of you. Let your customers see them. And if you own a company, if you run a company, if you're on a management team, make sure your employees know exactly what they are. Make sure your employees see you live in them. If one of your core values is, for example, train. Look at that, Josh right there. Beautiful. But let's say one of your core values is train daily. Does your staff see you train daily? Or are you telling them to go train? Are you telling them to log into whatever, or YouTube, or however the heck you're training for that day, and having them do it, but you're sitting back drinking a coffee, bullshitting with, whoever the hell you're with? No, you've got to live the core values. You've got to live them more perfectly than what your staff is. If your staff sees that, if they know what they are, and if they see the drive that you're pushing to them, they will follow. You almost don't even have to say or enforce core values, because typically they're positive. Typically they're right where your business wants to be, and people will catch on when they see you doing it. And then the final thing is, do your core values align with what you want your customers to feel when they're with you? Is your core value something that you would take, throw it on your desk, staple it to your chair, or your chair, I don't know why you do that, staple it to your wall.
Staple it to your chair.
Your chair. My core values are on my chair. It says get off this damn thing occasionally.
There you go.
But would you, let your customers, one dealership I saw that I really loved something they did, and this was when I was a general manager, so I was, in a few 2020 groups, meetings here and there with, other general managers. I can't remember the dealer's name because apparently it was so important that I don't remember their name, but I remember what I saw. They posted their company core values and how to treat customers and how every customer should be treated and how their employees are treated. Big old poster right on the wall, right when you walked into the dealership. Big poster. Mm-hmm. And it was there for everyone to see. I actually have a salesperson I work with one-on-one who did the same thing. He posted his core values and his expectations for himself and his expectations for his customer. He posted them right on his desk. He said, Jonathan, ever since I did that, man, he goes, I live to a higher standard and my customers know exactly what to expect. And he goes, it's kind of leveled the playing field for both of us because they know what they're going to get out of me. And I'm literally telling them what I'm going to give them and what I expect out of them. And he goes, it's worked out. Look at that big right.
Good morning, boys. Make sure you're drinking your vitamin, your coconut water. You know what I'm saying? Joshua Marks, you better bring a whole gallon with you when you come down here in September, baby. Good morning, boys. This is my freaking leisure outfit. I'm just getting dressed up, baby. Go to the dressing room.
Hey, Big Rye, I'm going to show you the 1-inch punch when I get down there, man. I hope you're ready.
Hey, Chris Steinbrook will show you something that's 1 inch. Dun, dun. All right, boys. Love you guys.
Anyway.
Yeah, make sure your core values are aligned with your mission of how you're serving your customers, and tell your damn customers. I'd put them on the dang wall. I'd put them on your desk. Let people see. For those of you here in insurance that just make phone calls, and you're not really face to face with your customers, figure out a way to kind of get it to them. You'll build in your social media brand, put who you are, put your core values and how you serve customers right there on a post, pin it to the top of your page. So the first thing people see is what to expect about you. Solid shit. Hey, I appreciate everyone that got their core values. We're going to transition into the next area we're going to be talking about today. And it's
This
gonna
is
be,
huge.
it's gonna be about auditing. Auditing. Now, this is a business practice. This is a personal practice. So
Hold on, first of all, by show of hands, does everybody understand what auditing is? Okay, anybody can come off mute. I don't care if it's Matt, Josh, anybody, somebody tell me what they think auditing is. I don't care who it is.
Auditing is really where you just take a complete totality overview and you take, of everything about who you are personally and professionally, right? Like in your business, you're going to audit your finances, you're going to audit your capital, you're going to audit your incoming and outgoing expenses, you're going to audit your people. How much time are they spending on the phones? How much time are they spending on the internet? How much time are they spending talking to leads? How much time are they on the lot? Then in your personal life, you're going to spend, you're going to audit with how much time you spending with your family, your wife. How much time are you watching television? How much time are you surfing? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. That's
Perfect,
to me,
Matt.
that's what
Bingo.
you,
Okay,
you did the transition right
yeah,
for
so,
me.
dude, it was perfect. So guys, the reason we're going to talk about auditing, number one, we're talking about the auditing of time. Okay, we talk about auditing your circle. Andy talks about it all the time. The people you spend your time with, ultimately, like they say, if you hang around 5 millionaires, you're going to be a millionaire. We can talk about that all day long. I want to talk about time. Number one, and I want you guys to write this down. Time is non-refundable. Okay, it's non-refundable at all. Everybody thinks, okay, I'm going to borrow time. I'm going to make time later. Guys, you can't make up time. You can't. Time is forever moving. It's machine-like. Okay. I don't know where time started. I'm not going to get into all that stuff from the past or where it was created, but every second. Okay. There's a reason they say it's like clockwork. Time is forever constant. It's momentum. It's constantly moving. Okay. The reason I say audit your time is because I used to be a complete waster of time. Okay. I got so moved, and I'm not going to show you. I have an entire rib piece. My entire side is tattooed with a huge clock, and it says time waits for no one. I want you guys to really think about that. There is no perfect moment. There's no perfect opportunity. Okay. Your finances will never be right. It's like when you step into the gym, you're never going to be big again. You're never going to be big. The first day you work out, you'll never be big again. You'll never be that perfect specimen, but we constantly work on it. We audit our time. So what I've done for me is I've actually set a timer. I don't have my phone. My phone's charging because I didn't audit my time and my phone's dead. But I set an alarm every single hour of every day. And I want you guys to try it. I'm not saying you have to do this, but what's helped me and the reason we're on these calls is I'm trying to implement, I'm trying to give you guys some guidance of what's worked for me. It might work for you, it might not. But I'm telling you, set an alarm today, every hour. When that alarm goes off, take an audit, take a recap. Shit, what did I do in this hour? Did I fuck off? Or did I actually use every minute of those 60 minutes and really go out, go all? Because time is non-refundable and we don't get it back, what are we doing with it?
You also learn the value of an hour doing that. And we all know we have 24 hours in a day. So when you start breaking down what you can actually achieve in an hour, how many phone calls you can make, if you're posting on social media, how many social media posts you can make, how many groups you can hit. If you're on, like, let's say a car lot and you go do a lot walk, hey, can you get through the lot walk in X amount of time? How many cars can you take pictures of? How many cars can you look at, touch, smell, whatever the heck you're doing? Insurance guys, in 1 hour, both phone calls and how many people you typically get a hold of, how many people pick up, and how many people you have a genuine good conversation with that go somewhere. You can break down your hour and you'll very quickly learn what your value is to that hour, because we're in sales. Most of us don't have an hourly pay. We don't know what our hourly pay is, but you need to kind of figure out what your worth is in an hour, because then from there, you're able to scale and audit your time to be able to use it as scale. Hey, I'm doing, when I'm actually doing this task, I'm earning roughly 250 an hour, 300 an hour, 75 an hour, whatever that number is. And then you're able to start prioritizing your tasks and your hours. You're able to say, hey, I'm able to earn $350 per hour of doing this task. You focus on that damn task. If you've got another one that's $50 an hour, because let's say you're posting to social media and you need to get, 3 posts in the groups, you need to get your daily story, whatever the heck you're doing. and that's only earning you about $50 an hour doing that task. Now it might have a longer run and it might lead somewhere, but if you have another task that you're earning $350 an hour for, and if you do it, it happens, that's when you need to start looking at an assistant. But if you don't know what your numbers are, if you don't know your worth of a task, you'll never get to the point where you can scale to have multiple people, where you can be leading a team, because you have to know, hey, what is my worth doing this? And is it worth paying someone to do this?
So real quick, talking about your worth, he said something, and I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Good.
But I'm saying, knowing your money, what's your worth? Guys, this biggest thing, this blows my mind. So like I said, I was a restaurant owner. I knew the biggest thing, number one, guys, know your money. Understand your money, what's coming in, what's going out, what your time is worth by minute, by hour, by second. In sales, how many of you understand that you are automotive business professionals and you're entrepreneurs? Okay, you're not micromanaged. And if you are micromanaged, your dealership runs different than everybody else. You guys are literally able to make more money than you know what to fucking do with right now in this market. That's why I say audit your time, audit your tasks. Figure out what you're doing, how to scale, how to grow, how to implement and use that time more wisely.
And it's really huge we've got some insurance people on here. Sky's on here. He's with Real Financial. Got a few got some solar on here. For you insurance, solar, like 1099 employees where you don't have a manager, you might have a team leader, but you don't really have a manager. Look up the definition of contractor. You work for yourself, you set your own hours, you're not required to be anywhere, right? That's how you get paid 1099. It's a great thing, but when you're 1099, it is so easy to waste time. It is so easy to
Distractions.
This guy starts petting his cat for 10 minutes and just cost him 10 minutes of his life that he's never getting back.
Is there a cat in there?
There's a cat. He's got a little cat right behind his arm.
Okay.
He's hiding it.
Dude, you got good eyes. I'm fucking
So-
fine.
If he's got his clock going and that goes off in 1 hour and he realizes, hey, I was able to make, I'm sure he's using a dialer. I was able to put out 150 phone calls. I got a hold of 3 people, and then my cat meowed and I got confused and I, scratched its back for 10 minutes.
Like that.
What did that 10 minutes cost him? Was it worth it? You got a cool cat. Good cat, Sky. So, take care of it. Feed it.
Thanks. He's an asshole.
All cats are.
No offense.
Yeah. But yeah, make sure you know what your worth is and know what your worth of a task is. If you don't know what your task earn you, what it brings you, figure it out, because it's huge. And then what we can do from there is we go bigger, right? We all have 24 hours. Does anyone disagree with me that we don't have a 24-hour clock going on? I'm gonna say you're all wrong. They're all wrong.
Are we gonna give you flat earth and all that shit?
Yeah, so there is a flat earth theory. No,
We're not doing that.
but check this out. Check this out. Andy's talking about this a lot. In our days at the Elliott Group, we've got 4 24-hour periods.
No, pay attention, guys. This is big. Like, this is really big. Get a pen.
So what we do is we break our days into 4 segments, 4 6-hour segments. And our goal is to time block and create 4 days out of that. So obviously, let's go 6 hours. You've got 1 6-hour period. That's your rest period. That's your sleep period. So then you have 3 other days to do things. So you break, let's say you wake up at whatever it is, 6 a.m. to make my math easy, 6 a.m. to noon, that's day 1. So break down day 1 and start, time blocking out day 1. Don't pretend like you have 24 hours, because if you pretend like you have 24 hours, it's going to take you 28 hours to get anything done. So take that 6-hour block and break it down to what you need to do. Insurance, you're making calls for 3 of those hours, and then you're writing a policy on the 4th, or whatever the heck it is. Auto guys, you're hitting the lot for the first hour, you're making calls for the next 2 hours, you've got 3 appointments lined up, or really realistically 2 appointments lined up. That's your 6 hours. And then the greatest thing about breaking it into a 6-hour day is you're able to analyze midday what you did and what you did not do. Now, try to get it all done, because you're going to go right into your second day. You've now created another 6-hour day. So you get to that noontime period, you start your second day. Hey, maybe at noon, that's when you have your damn breakfast or lunch, whatever you want to call it, but it's the beginning of the day. So let's call it breakfast. You eat a quick 30-minute breakfast, you brought, lunch with you. So you're not spending an hour and a half cooking or ordering food or whatever the heck you waste time on doing. We've all seen it. Hey, who wants to go get a bite to eat? 45 minutes later, we've decided on it. 45 minutes later, after ordering it from Uber Eats, it's at the dealership or at the office or wherever it might be, and then you eat for 30 minutes. You just wasted a half day of time.
So the reason I'm laughing is because I'm thinking of going to eat and literally you spend like 15 minutes going back and forth with your significant other. You're like, I don't know, what do you want? I don't know, what do you want? I don't know, what sounds good? You always want to go to chick. Anyway, sorry.
Gotta make a decision. So
Just
then
make
we
a fucking
start,
decision.
so at noon, we're gonna start our second day. So from noon to 6, we now have a full other day, and we're gonna time block it just like it's a 24-hour period. Just like it's a whatever you work, 10 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours, however many hours a day you work, you're compressing that into that 6-hour time frame, and it's gonna keep you moving. You're going to have to actually value the time. You're gonna actually have to value the quality of work you put in. Otherwise, you're not gonna accomplish it. But when you tell yourself you have 6 hours to do a day's worth of work, you will work harder, you'll be more focused, and you'll get it done. You'll also accomplish 3 days of, 3 days of tasks every single day. And that's just going to be positive. You're going to start feeling good when that happens. So we're finally at our third and final day of the day. So that's going to be whatever it is, 6 to, what is that, midnight? 6 to midnight, right? Or however your day works. Remember, we're using examples. So if you're up at 4:30 like me, started at 4:30. It makes math harder though. So 6 to midnight. I've got a complete other day there. Now, typically, what I'm using my 6 to midnight day, that's my Friday, my last shift of the day. Hey, what didn't I get done? What do I have to get done tonight that can't be held off tomorrow? What did I fail to do that I have to do it now? Hell, I'll call your ass at midnight. If I promise you a phone call, you'll get a phone call from me at 10 o'clock. Hopefully you live Pacific time or Hawaii, so it's not 1 a.m. But I'm gonna start doing the things I didn't get done in the day, or I was too busy, or whatever it did. But I'm gonna get those done before I go to sleep and be ready to go the next day. Another thing I personally schedule into my third day is that's when, I'm going home. That's when I'm spending time with the wife. That's when I'm spending time with the kids. Because if you don't prioritize that and you don't actually time block it, I saw someone's core values in there did talk about family and talked about, your personal life. That was awesome. Because I don't care how hard you are, you got to have somewhat of a personal life. If you go home and, you hate your personal life, or it's not great, you're always fighting with your kids, you're fighting with your wife, you're not home enough. It doesn't mean you're not home enough. It means you're not connected enough. You don't need to be home for 8 hours. As a matter of fact, all y'all are cool, but think about the people you work with. You don't want to be around them for 8 hours. Your wife, your husband, your kids, they're people too. My kids are awesome. But after 2 hours of whatever the heck they do and running around, I'm like, I'm tired. They've got me tired. I'm tired of talking about Barbie and whatever else is going on. But if I give them, let's say, a solid hour of my third day, that hour I can contribute so much more to myself.
It's focus time.
And I teach them to value time as well. I put my phone away. I give them that time, and then they start valuing time, and they can start, completing things. If, they're on their iPads, it doesn't count. It's not time. If you're on your iPad, your phone, you're not giving them time. You're trying to do 2 things at once, and you're just abusing your time. So time blocking into 4 days, creating what is it called? Creating mini days.
Yes.
Can be huge. Because if you create that, if you get on that habit of having 4 mini days a day, you'll actually have over 1,000 working days per year.
Does that make sense? Like, do you guys get that? So we're just aimlessly walking around. We're just bumping into shit, and we don't have a destination. So the reason I wanted to chime in here, I actually wrote something down. I said, look, a goal without a destination, dude, it's just a dream. Okay. Now, the reason I say that is everybody says, man, I have a goal. I say, good. What's the end result? What's your destination? They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, if you have a goal, you have to have an end. There has to be something tied to that goal. That's the prize. That's the finish line. That's the destination. It's like someone saying, well, I'm going to clean the house. Okay, when? What do you mean? Eventually, at some point. These trigger words, these words we use nonchalantly. Oh, I'll get to it. If you guys say something, put it into fruition, make it actionable, make it a consequence with a destination. If you say, I'm going to get this done, then fucking do it. Don't say, okay, well, I'm going to make 300 dials today. Okay, how many dials did you make? I don't know, maybe like 250. Well, why didn't you do it? Well, I'll get to it tomorrow. Guys, there's no tomorrow, okay? Tomorrow is not promised. Everything that you do today is leading towards your destination of tomorrow. And I'm not trying to be graphic or morbid or anything, but you guys have no idea what's on the other side of the next minute. That's why we time block our day. That's why we put everything into every minute of our day. Okay. If you don't like the trajectory of the way your life is going, okay, my grandfather, smartest businessman in the fucking world, smartest, went rags to riches, had a Snickers bar, literally cut it into 8 pieces, made it last for 4 days. The guy knew the sacrifice, he knew the grind, okay? He wasn't able to join on a fucking Zoom call with all your beautiful faces interacting, okay? They had to use their little rotary phone or whatever that thing
You're
was.
using
To,
pigeons.
yeah, pigeons. Or,
Pigeons.
like, think about it. In business, guys, you guys have interactive interface. You can call a person, you can send them a DM, you can shoot a video. These guys had to send a letter, hope to hell the post office got it. Then all of a sudden it came back to do business. We have no excuse why we shouldn't be doing amazing right now. No excuse whatsoever. That's where we do the audit of time and look at ourselves in the mirror and go, what am I doing? What can I be doing better to change? What can I be doing better to ultimately manipulate time and make it work for me? Does that make sense? Time is forever moving. You're forever moving. You're either gaining ground or you're losing ground.
And it goes into kind of what I posted the other day. It went into, you're a book. Everyone here is a story. You've got the cover page.
Picture book with pop-up
You're a picture
colors.
book, yeah. It pop, yeah. I'm
Pop-up
sorry.
pictures, color by number.
So it starts here with your cover page and ends here with, I don't know, your end page, whatever the hell they call the back of a book. Everything in between that is birth, death, and what you did. Do you want someone to pick up the book of your life, read the cover, flip through the pages? It's like 20 pages long, and it just talks about waking up, graduating high school, maybe not graduating high school, maybe going to college, maybe not going to college. And then you got the government job, and 10 years later is chapter 3, and you still have the same damn job, and you got a promotion. And you see how freaking boring that is to even hear me talk about it? Or do you want that book to be something someone can pick up, turn to page 1, man, childhood, great, high school, haha, that's kind of funny. Holy shit, what were you doing there? How is this book 800 pages of entertainment? Is someone entertained by your life? Because if they're not, you're probably not entertained by your life. Is there struggles in your life? Yes, there should be. If you feel happy, if you're content, if you're loving every second and it's so great, yes, love your life. I'm not telling you to be depressed or anything, but I'm telling you, if there's not a little bit of stress, if there's not a little bit of healthy anxiety, pressure, that's a better word for it.
Pressure creates diamonds or burst pipes, guys. You hear Andy talk about it all the time.
You've got to find that pressure in your life. You've got to find that position that you're a little bit uncomfortable in, that you're really, really uncomfortable in, and get your ass through it, because you will grow. What is that for you? For, you know, our automotive professionals on there, what don't you like doing? Is it the service drive? Is going into the service drive terrifying? Shit, I know as a GM, it was the hardest thing for me to convince my staff to get into the service drive. One, the biggest thing I learned is you had to train them, because they didn't know what they were doing, because I didn't really know what I was doing, to be honest with you. So I had to figure out what to do. And then I had to encourage them to get in there by showing them how. But most salespeople, I'll just be real with you, the service drive is a gold mine, but it's tough. Insurance. What's your biggest thing? Y'all got to be making phone calls like crazy. Y'all got to be using dialers. For those of you who don't know anything about the insurance industry or for real financial, these guys can make 400, 500, 600 calls a day, dials a day, I should say. If you've never ran a dialer or a multi-line dialer, just do it for 12 hours or do it for 1 hour one day, and your head's going to hurt. You're not going to know what happened in that hour, because they're literally compressing time frames of how quickly they can dial people out. And it is tough to stay on a dialer for an hour. Will wear you out, especially when you're first using them, especially a multi-line dialer. That's a pain in the butt. But where the hell was I going with this?
You were talking about multi-dialers.
Multi-dialers.
No, he's okay. So I got you.
Action.
We're talking about pressure. We're talking about action and pressure,
there
like
we
I
go.
said. So giving him a second here to refuel and stuff. We talk about pressure, whether it creates diamonds or burst pipes. Let me ask by show of hands, how many of you have actually had anything amazing happen out of being comfortable? There should be no fucking hands up. Nothing. Okay. Every single time that you grow and you scale, it's because you got your freaking teeth kicked in. You had your back against the wall. You had somebody tell you something that wasn't agreeable with you and you didn't understand. You didn't agree with it and you wanted to figure out why. Am I right? He was in the Army. There were days that were probably test. So what I'm going to talk about is test days. Okay. You guys understand what a test day is? Test days are those moments when you have momentum, you're rolling, man. You're on the phone. You're crushing 3 cars a day. And all of a sudden winning goes, who are you? You don't want to be there. You don't want to go to the gym. You don't want to make the dials. People are not connecting with you. There's no momentum. There's nothing you can do. Literally, winning goes, thanks for coming. Not today, bitch. Nope, not happening. What do you do when you get kicked in the fucking nuts? What do? Do you go back in the corner and go, well, I'm going to be depressed and it was a good run and no. You run towards adversity. Run towards the fire and be like, that's your worst, really? That's what you got for me? Dude, I'm a warrior. I am the one. Test me. Come at me. See what you got. Nico's a badass. My boy Matt, Josh, Donald, Matt, all of you guys. Do you run towards adversity when shit gets hard? Or are you going to lay back and be like, I don't know, man. I'm not built for this.
And Josh just held up a sign that said, you're comfortable right before death. And what I love about that statement is
That's
it's completely true. That's the end of your book. That's that little bit of time where you finally realize, you know, you're at that end and it doesn't matter what you do and what you didn't do. That's where that true comfort comes. And that should only be one time in your life because we only die once. I don't believe you died and they resuscitated you. Take that out of there. But you truly only die once. And when you die, it's over. But
and you only live once.
If you allow yourself to die in the middle of your book, if you get super, super comfortable and, you know, you have that 5 years where, you know, you're selling insurance policies, you're thinking about, man, I could go to the next level. Like I'm pretty maxed, I'm dialing in, I'm using my time wisely. I should start a team. But you continue to do the same thing for 5 years. That's a death. If you want that next level, if you want that team, if you want to grow, if you want to scale, you've got to get over that short time period where winning is coming after you. Because we've got some very high earners on this, and we've got people who are making, you know, more money than most doctors, lawyers out there. And you can easily get contempt in that. You can, hey, you know, I'm starting to put money away in the bank. I got a nice house. We're able to go on vacations. We're able to, you know, the kids are private school, like whatever your life is.
Did any of you watch Jacqueline's reel yesterday? Okay. Dude, that shit hit hard. And if you guys have not watched it, I literally tell you to go to Jacqueline's Instagram and watch it. And the reason I say this is because what I call, and it's the way that I interpret, it's called a false summit. Okay. You guys ever seen like a war movie or something? You know, they're running to the top of the mountain and they get to the top and they're like, yeah, I made it. And then you look off in the distance. You aren't even close to the fucking top.
False peak.
You haven't even begun to, like, my goal before I started with Andy, before I started in car sales, I was like, I want to be a millionaire. I want to make $1 million. Well, I did it. I literally had $1 million in the bank, beautiful house, cars paid off, hundreds of thousands in the bank. And I thought that was it. Well, guess what? The velvet ropes didn't part. Nobody came with champagne. It wasn't what I thought. I'm telling you, the Instagram, the reel, the highlight reel, it's bullshit. No one's going to come running to you and be like, hey, congratulations, man. You made $1 million. You're part of a special club. You're not. Okay. It is a false summit. It's a false perception that we have out there that people say, oh my God, you've made it. My question is, when you get to that point where you feel like, what is success to you? Do you keep climbing or do you get comfortable? I got comfortable. And everybody knows for like, I don't know, 10 days, I was like, yep, I'm a millionaire. This is it. I finally did it. My family's going to be super proud, this and that. Nobody reached out. I was the only one that knew I was a millionaire. I had a bunch of assets and cars and shit, but I wasn't fulfilled. Guys, do not get complacent on your goals and your dreams. If you have a goal, get to the goal. Okay. Take your ego, chuck that shit in the trash, climb down that mountain and go for a fucking bigger one.
So let's set up for what we're going to do next week. Because what I want everyone to do is I want you to take something from this and implement it. Every Zoom call, we want something to be implemented in your life. We don't want to just hear Chris and I talk. We don't want to just be bringing you guys on. I love the interactive thing just to get some other ideas, share, meet some new people. But for next week, we're going to do the exact same thing where we drop some stuff in the comments there to start off the call. Plan out what your perfect day looks like. And we'll talk about your perfect work day and a generalized work day. I mean, I don't need it broken down Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, if there are some differences, but kind of what a perfect work day looks like. And start from that time that alarm goes off at, whatever time it is, 4:30, 6 o'clock. What are your tasks that you're doing? And it's not something you have to be doing right now. Be real with yourself. If you know what a better day looks like, but you're not living it, it's perfectly fine to know that information. Now, should you tackle that and start getting those things in? Absolutely. But I promise you, admitting it to yourself, putting it on a piece of paper and having it in front of you is going to be one step further than just, hey, knowing that I should wake up and go to the gym, knowing that, hey, I shouldn't, be getting what do they have at McDonald's? The breakfast sandwich thing.
McMuffins.
Egg McMuffins. I shouldn't be chowing down, egg McMuffins.
They are delicious.
2 for $1 right now at McDonald's.
Not in Fountain Hills.
Yeah, Fountain Hills is
Holy
ridiculous.
You guys, I went to McDonald's the other day to treat the staff. I don't know if Fountain Hills has like double, triple tax, but literally an egg McMuffin meal looks like $11. I'm like, what?
Don't have egg McMuffins.
No,
They're okay though. They're delicious.
they are good.
But so let's get our perfect day lined up and just, time block it. What does this time look like? For those of you that want to take the, later Sky, for those of you that want to take the compressing your day, making into 4 individual days, mini days, write that out. Day 1, day 2, day 3, and compress what you're doing in each one of those 6-hour blocks. We'll drop that in. We'll pull a few of you on, just the same thing. We'll talk about it, but it's going to be nice to really see how people use their time. You automotive folk, it's going to be nice to see how, other automotive people use their time. Insurance, same thing. When are you making calls? When are you dialing? When are you writing? When are you, doing some social media? And what activities are we actually accomplishing? Are we getting to the gym? Are we spending time with family? Is that a priority? And it'll just open up everything to everyone, and you'll be able to see how, that works. Hey, and another thing we want to do is, y'all know how we all take pictures of every one of these Zoom calls, put it on social media. We love it. It helps us a ton. But what I want y'all to do is I'll take a picture of this. It's a smaller call today, 18 people, so you get everyone on one screen. If you didn't catch, Sky just jumped off, so you can get his name in the comments if you want. But what I want everyone to do is reach out to one person on this call that you've never met before, that you haven't talked to before, and drop them a DM. Just give them a compliment. Hey man, I appreciate you being here. You're awesome. For those of you that shared, maybe shoot them a DM. Hey, I loved your story. And just meet someone else in it. So hey, everyone grab their phone real quick. I got mine, Chris, you're good.
I love it.
So we'll do it this way. Chris and I will do a little pose first so y'all can get it. And Chris and I are going to get y'all guys. So here we go. Everyone grab it. Get ready to go. Screenshot it if you're not on. Perfect.
Let's do
And
it.
then we'll go this way. So for you guys, 3, 2, 1, and bam. All right, we got you guys in.
Love it.
But yeah, reach out to someone, make a friend, get someone new, and just, share the community, share who we are. Because by getting on these calls, I know you guys want to be better than average. No one wakes up at, for some of y'all, it's not 7 a.m. like it is here for us, but no one spends an hour of their time listening to 2 people talk if they don't want some value from it. No one, is following the Elliott group. I mean, some people follow them and they're kind of just a consumer, but no one's really engaging with the Zoom calls unless they're a true contributor. You may not be publishing information, but you're contributing yourself to the group. You're contributing yourself to being better. You want another thing, be around those individuals. I hear it every day from multiple people. Hey, John, how do I stay motivated at work? And it's usually from, the dealership, like everyone around me is so negative. They're not doing anything. They sit on their ass all day. They lick tires all day. They watch the pavement grow, like whatever it is. They lick tires. I lick tires. I love tire shine. You ever tried it? It's like paste. So
Sorry.
they asked me, like, how do you stay motivated? I'm like, there's one thing, man. You got to have big goals. You got to know what those goals are, and you got to pursue them and strive for them every day. And then
We're actually going to have a Zoom call on the taste and effects of tire shine.
Different brands. They all have
See,
different things.
See, he said paste and not crayons, and that's how you know he was Army and not a Marine. Semper Fi, brother.
Well, it's because I'm using a pen and not a crayon to, to take my notes. Like,
It's a virtual pen.
yeah, I don't know. I must have been one of them Army nerds.
Oh my God.
So what I was saying is reach out to one another, connect with people like-minded with you, and grow. Because most likely at your dealership, at your office, wherever you are, not everyone wants to be above average. Some people are perfectly content being above average, but you being on here, I know that's not you. I know you want bigger. So reach out to someone new on this call and just, shoot them a compliment, get used to talking to people. Hell, maybe they have something you want, or they can share something with you. But stay plugged in, stay connected, and just y'all go kick ass today. Have the best one ever. And remember to use your time wisely and audit your time.
It just starts with the first step, guys. That's all you have to do. If there's literally something on this call, doesn't matter what we said, at some point, something resonated with you, okay? At some point, you guys went, okay, that's something I'm not doing. That's something I'm not implementing, okay? You don't eat an elephant by fucking attacking the whole thing. You start with one bite at a time. Start with a small change, implement something. If you tell yourself every day, I'm going to go to the gym. Okay, do it. Get up. When the alarm wakes you up in the morning, don't roll over and defeat yourself to start the day. Hit the button, get your ass out of bed, put your feet on the floor and do it. Take that step, momentum moving forward. Because guess what? Every time that you tell yourself you're going to do something and you don't take action, you're literally like, you're giving up on success. I know it doesn't seem like it, but how many times a day are you guys like, oh, it's cool, dude. I'll get to it tomorrow.
And you're selling your time.
I'll do it later. You're selling your dreams. Okay. That person that got up at 3:30 or at 4 and they went to the gym, dude, they're already light years ahead of you. I wish you guys could see yourself in 3 years, what you've become, how you speak, what you look like, how much money you have in the bank, your beautiful relationship, the time with your family, how you scaled to your future self and you become the person that you were meant to be. But these little shortcuts, every single instance that you don't do what you say you're going to do, you're backsliding. You backslide. I know you don't see it instantly because the problem is right now with Instagram, Insta feed, Facebook, everything is virtually instant. Okay. Take a look at yourself. Take a picture today. Stand in front of the mirror with your shirt off. What do I look like? And then don't go to the gym for a week and take that picture again. Or do something about it. Go to the gym, take a picture in a week.
Get jacked up.
Those small little steps will add up to big momentum moments. It's monumental. Okay. I did it yesterday. Like I said, I did an audit. What did I look like 6 months ago? What do I look like today?
Go ahead, Megan. Hey, let's bring a couple people on. Anyone who wants to jump off that's, done with us, by all means, it's 8 o'clock. Or
Megan, why can't we see your beautiful face?
But hey, Josh, I want to
I joined late because we have school trying to get out of the house in the morning. So
Distraction. A good
I know.
distraction, but a distraction.
Yes, it is. But
Josh,
it was
you have
day
hand
two.
raised
Day
for a
two.
reason?
I just said. Okay, Megan, go ahead.
So our core values we made years ago, and I just thought that it would need some refreshing. And so number 1 was infectious positive energy. Number 2, we called it fairy godmother, always helping, devoted, do anything asked of, team player. And then number 3, insatiable, driven, never satisfied, big goals.
I love that. Now, is that the rewritten one or is that the OG?
That's the OG.
Okay. What do you want the new ones to be?
I need to think about that. I guess when I read.
Are you hitting us with an
I
objection?
need to think about it.
I need to think about it.
Well, yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Good job,
So-
Megan.
But I can post them in the FB page and then.
Yeah, post them there. I'll approve that one for sure. Who
Okay.
else wants to jump in real quick?
We got any latecomers? Fareed, did you get yours on there?
So I've got a journal at home and I've got a daily journal. I have mine written out. I just forgot to snap the photo this morning. So I'll DM you guys with it later on tonight when I get there.
Yeah, or post it in the group, man. I'd love to share it.
Okay.
I love it. So then moving forward, perfect day. Guys, for next week, literally think about it, okay? I'm not talking about your daily activities, but your perfect day.
What that would look like.
When you wake up in the morning, I'm not saying what you look like in the morning because I look like hell when I wake up in the morning, but your perfect day, what you see yourself as, your future self. If it's a projected image, every single day, are you doing the activities to make yourself that version? Because we, like I said, we backslide, we shortcut. Oh, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to eat the right food. I'm not going to take a walk. Oh, I'm tired as hell. I'm not going to go to the gym. You see Sean's posts. Guys, we're no different than you. Remember that. We're no different. When I get off work and I go home and I lay on the couch for literally 5 minutes, it goes through my head. I'm like, fuck, man, really? I'm tired. Well, guess what? I'm tired of fucking losing. I'm tired of not being the size I want to be. I'm tired of not having fucking abs. I'm tired of going on these alpha warrior runs halfway up the mountain and having to freaking, you know, not pass the fuck out because of the elevation change. What is the elite version of yourself? What does it look like? Okay. Every second of every moment is another chance to start over. You don't like the way your life's going? Good. Fucking change. Let's do it.
All right, we'll see y'all next week. We'll talk to y'all in the group. Y'all have a great day. Like I said, use that time and yeah, let's get them perfect days next week. And
Have a great day,
we'll talk
guys.
soon, you guys. Have a good one.